Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Horn. A little about me. I teach at Northeastern School District in York County. This will be my 6th year of teaching, and I have been teaching 6th grade all of the previous 5 years, including the 6th year. I've done 5 years teaching ELA, and this will be my first year teaching math, science, and social studies. It is also my first year where our 6th grade students are going one-to-one with Chromebooks. So this online class and online learning will be extremely helpful. My hobbies are spending time with my 1-year-old son and my husband, also playing with our 2 dogs, our Great Dane and Golden Retriever. I love to run and play basketball and really play all sports. I also love to watch the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a big Philly fan. I love traveling and reading. My online experience, in my classroom, I have used Google a lot, including Docs, Drive, and Google Classroom with my students, and I've had them do assignments and take in assessments. I've also had some experience using Study Island and Khan Academy, 2 resources to practice skills and to assess students in a variety of ways. The courses I have taken in the past, I had previously taken a course my first year of teaching with an online program. It was mostly just full of discussions and responses, but it was to help practice using an iPad and finding different apps for the iPad. I did not find this as engaging and helpful as more recent courses. Recently, I took the ACTE 655 course through Millersville, where I was able to explore the STEM content and resources, as well as use new technologies and websites suggested, and I found that to be very helpful as we get to practice as well as research information. So the online overview. One of the statements I found most intriguing was good teaching is good teaching. And that was no matter if it was in an actual brick-mortar school building or online. And I would definitely agree with this. It makes sense to me because it is according to our textbook by Rice. If you can teach, teaching means to impart knowledge so others may learn. If you can do that, you should be able to do that no matter what. If you have the skills to teach, you can teach anything. And teaching is teaching no matter what form. If I'm teaching in a classroom or teaching online, it's still the same thing. You're still teaching. However, it can be an overgeneralization because when you are teaching, outside influences in the environment is going to impact you differently, which in turn will impact your good teaching. It will have an effect on it. The challenges differ online than in a brick and mortar building, as we've already seen through our course reading. And you must know your content and your classroom in order to teach well. You can be a good teacher, but if you do not know how to manipulate the computer and your online components and the different resources, it's hard to have good teaching. The other question and statement I found interesting was the challenges of being an online teacher, and I wanted to learn more about the challenges I have here listed. First of all, one of the statements was some students are not suited for online learning. And I'm curious to know more about that. How do you notice a student who's not suited for online learning? What qualities do you see in that, and what do you do about it if they're not suited for it? Another one is you don't always have control of your content. This surprised me. The text stated that sometimes you don't always have control of what your lesson plans are, and I'm curious to learn how often that occurs and if that is a likely possibility when you are an online teacher. I do understand you don't always have control of the information and the content you're expected to teach, but not being able to do your own lesson plans was shocking. I also want to learn more about the teaching self-regulated behaviors and understanding content strategies. They had discussed in the article that there are challenges with students, and I'm curious to learn more of what are the self-regulated behaviors and the content strategies that the online teachers are giving the students. What are they suggesting? How do they go about suggesting it? And finally, I'd like to know more about the challenge of it being more time consuming. What takes the most time? I have heard through people that many teachers want to go into online teaching because they'll have more time at home and they can spend more time with their family because they don't have to go into a classroom. But according to the article, you really don't have as much time as one might think. So I'm curious as where most of the time is spent, if it is the actual teaching or the preparation. And finally, watching the commercials. Coincidentally, I happened to see one on TV as I was reviewing these commercials that were posted online. But many of these commercials I found did fit the standards. It especially fit the quality online teaching standards for F and J. Standard F talks about the diversity and the needs of the students and being accommodating, and Standard J talks about the professionalism and communicating with the parents. And the commercials, especially the K-12 online commercial, stressed about having open lines of communication with parents and differentiating and working with students where they are. They also address the standards of our mindset, qualities, and adaptive skills. For the mindset, the standard it addressed was in the competency 1 about having a new vision of teaching for the learner. So it's student-centered, which was a big factor in all 3 commercials. In competency 3 of the qualities, it talks about collaboration. And one of the commercials stressed about how students are able to collaborate and work with one another. And finally, it addressed the standard of the adaptive skills in the second competency, especially where it's talking about instructional strategies and how the content fits the individual learning goals and individual learning needs. And that was especially true in the commercials and with the K-12 online program and the Carpe Diem, talking about how it's a custom education, you're learning how you like, and they work with the student and teaching the individual, not the whole group. However, the commercials didn't fit all the standards. All the commercials seemed to stress the idea of the cost and how it was free. That did not relate to any standards, but it is a good marketing strategy to mention that. And the one commercial about the connections discussed about helping students socially. They can be in groups and clubs with this program. That was something that was not found in any of the standards with an online, but definitely essential to a student's growth, in my opinion. So it is a good thing to add, but just did not fit the commercial. Thank you, and enjoy watching.